What about the children?
They don't say a lot, Len.
Yeah.
Not really, no. I was asked yesterday, actually, if the young boy speaks about it. He won't talk about his dad at all. He'll get up and get out of the room.
I noticed when I was here last week,
I know.
any mention of the accident, he just walked off.
Yes, he does. He either walks off or else he changes the subject.
Yeah.
He won't face it. He doesn't want to face it.
Yeah.
He will talk to me sometimes if we're quiet, and he might say something then. But what can I say to him?
Has he had trouble at school?
No, he hasn't, actually. I've just had a report from the school about him, and it's a lovely report.
Yeah.
Couldn't wish for anything more.
He's not had problems with the other children?
Only a minor skirmish, and that got sorted out by the school. They
Yeah.
were marvellous over it, but, you know, not really. Shane's quite a very shy boy anyway, but he seems to be getting on all right.
I saw Ian this morning,
Yeah.
and I was sort of talking to him about the report, or asking him about it. I mean, what's happening?
Well, I've seen it, but I don't really understand all of it. I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all, well, proper marine jargon, really, and I mean, I just don't understand it all.
A tragedy can bring out the best and the worst in people. When someone's lost somebody, you'll suddenly find people who you probably didn't have a lot of time for or didn't think too much about will come to your aid. They really are caring and look after you. And you see that particularly in the fishing industry. When we've lost people and there's been an appeal fund, some of the letters you get, it really is the widow's mite. But then you get the other side of the situation where within days of something happening, allegations start getting spread, stories get told. The widows, usually the widows, are accused of affairs and all sorts of things. And you sometimes wonder just how people can be so insensitive. Anonymous phone calls, that's a great favourite. Anonymous phone calls, or the phone will just ring, and just enough to wake them up, usually in the middle of the night, and as they get there, they go and put the phone down. And truthfully, I just do not understand people, why they do it.
You know, 11 years ago today, we came down here, all poor weather. It was a full storm, you know, coming down here. And just in here, that's where the lifeboat was lost. Pendley lifeboat went in here that night, trying to save those people off that Union Star. That was right in there. Every time I come here, I just think of that. You know, I'd always think of it, you know, and I think we will, you know, till we die, really. But you can imagine that going in here that night. The land has gone into a V, and she went in there and the sea was hitting and coming back out. So it must have been, a flipping nightmare, I should imagine. And I can imagine it more through being out here, knowing and seeing the sea going ashore, and you can imagine a little lifeboat, a 40-foot or something like that. I knew all of them aboard the boat, every one of them. I've been to sea before of them. In Mousehole, you would think that somebody dropped a canister of germs and everybody'd gone, and, you know, something, you know. Like it was like a dead village, you know, like can't really describe it, really, you know. Can't really describe it.
When Margaret and William II went down, Ian Higgs was one of the survivors. Ian's also the joint owner of the boat, or was the joint owner of the boat. And of course, the problem in many ways with the survivors is that people forget about them so quickly. There's a tragedy, a boat goes down, somebody's lost, and everyone thinks and feels for the families of those who've been bereaved, and that's right and proper. But in many ways, the survivors suffer tragedy and trauma. They've lost a crew member, And it becomes just like losing at one of your own family. And of course, on top of that, you've lost your boat and you've lost your livelihood. And in Ian's case, he's lost his nerve.
We were steaming along, we was looking where we was going, and the next thing I seen this orange wall. And I stood up straight away and shouted boat, but as I shouted boat, there was an almighty crash, and I was smashed to pieces. Next thing I knew, I was under the water. I didn't know where I was. I thought for a split second I was going to die, but then something seemed to say to me, fight. And then I just went with my arms and legs kicking away, and I come to the surface. I just looked around a bit dazed. There just seemed debris all around us, bits and pieces. As I was going for the life raft, I pulled the cord, hoping that the other two would come up as well. Yeah. Terry swam towards me, helped me get in. We both leaned out the life raft and got to Malcolm, who seemed to be struggling a bit, because he'd obviously been in the water quite a few minutes.
And what about Dennis and Alex?
No sign of them at all. No, I was just hoping that they'd come up, but they didn't.
Do you think you will ever go back to sea again?
No, I shan't ever go back. There's too many memories. I have been out for the odd day to see if I could cope with it, and definitely not. It's no good for me. It's too many memories. The two guys we lost like brothers, and I can't face it.
Well, there we are. That's another trip behind us, another 8-9 days gone. It's nice to be coming in, but if you'd think 48 hours we'd be going again, that's the thing. And when you're in, like tomorrow, most of the day you'd be sleeping, and you got one day really to do anything in. It's not an awful lot of time, sure. I think one of these days we'll start sprouting gills, I reckon. We spend that much time out here, we'll end up with bloody gills growing out behind here. We've been short-handed this trip. Got old Bobby been ashore this trip. He didn't say anything to me, he just had these dizzy spells. Didn't say a word. And he keeled over up underneath the whaleback. Peter brought him aft. And then we asked him, well, he said, I've been having them for 2 or 3 weeks, and, you know. But he's still having them ashore, so it isn't the motion of the boat or anything, it must be something. But he's going to have tests, and we'll see then. Anyway, I should go up and see him later on in here, taking up a bit of fish. There, Robert, I brought you up a little bit of fish. You didn't a lot, it's only you and the missus, isn't it?
Yeah, I had that for dinner already.
Jiggy filleted it up for you.
Did?
Yep.
What's that Ed doing?
But no, he just left that for the cat.
I probably job.
Now look, what's all the news with?
Ah, that's right.
Hey?
Wow, I can't tell you very much, Ed. Well, it's might not be good or bad, but then it's all do with what I got is all do with arthritis, you know.
Yeah.
And that's more or less in the shoulders, and all these things I can get in, like dizzy spells and one thing now, that's all due to the arthritis. They give me a collar to wear over there, but
is that the one? Where's it to?
there and there side that book.
Oh, I thought it was one of those.
Just one of the little soft collars. Like.
I thought it was one of the leather ones, because Jiggy said,
no.
where's your collar? He gonna lead and take you for a walk, didn't he?
That little soft collar, like you're not putting on to easing a bit. That's all.
Yeah.
Only he said, like, you know, if I want it, wear it, but if I don't, well, fair enough, you know. It'll all do the wear and tear.
So have we got to keep your bunk empty aboard the boat, or what?
Well, yes, see what go on up to that for a bit of while.
At the moment, I think they're throwing junk in it.
Well, I'll just say, well, that's all right, then clear that junk out.
It could be now, Bob. This is it.
Well, that's it, if they can't do nothing about it.
That's right. There's no
See-
good being out there like that, is it?
No, well, you know what it was like when you brought me in.
Well, I
didn't you?
know.
No one said, and safe, am I? You're about to
No.
say I'm bloody liability to myself.
Well,
and
you
not-
know
not
that,
people.
Robert, if you get up there in the night and we're, like, the watchman's in the wheelhouse, and you go out and have a piddle on the deck, and you have a turn then when you're gone and nobody know you've been up.